Okay, while you guys are getting your rubrics filled out and getting it uploaded, kind of go over kind of our plan ahead so you understand the reason we have to have them ready and done today. So here's the calendar, which you may or may not have looked at since you didn't look at the fact that you had the other stuff done. Maybe you didn't. Every day till finals is already planned out and accounted for. So today we have our presentations. Next class on Thursday we have our review of chapter 4A, and I'm calling it 4A because normally we get through the CPU section by this point as well. I don't know how we got behind. I guess we rebuilt PCs one too many days. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure how I got behind because I was on schedule on chapter 3 and all of a sudden I'm behind. So Thursday we have our review. Monday we have our test. Wednesday we have our semester review, and then exams start after that. So we only have 4 classes left for this semester, including this one. Your guys' exam is on the last day, on that Tuesday, because Friday is Brown 2, 3, and 4. Monday is Orange 2, 3, and 4, and then the following Tuesday, right before winter break, is the Brown 1s. Is anybody new here? Everybody's been here before. You know why we do it that way. So there's a break between tests of some sort, and one's not back to back. The funny thing is, there's no break here. I guess there's only 2 tests that day. So, yes.
I can't even turn my. This is Pat. I'm sorry. I can't even turn my computer off to turn it on.
What do you mean you can't turn it off to turn it on?
I'm pushing the button and it won't go off.
All right. Did you push it and give it about 30 seconds, or you just keep pushing it?
Well, I gave it a few seconds there. Okay.
Is it turned off yet?
No.
Okay. Do your power thing, and I've got a class right now. Maybe
Yeah.
tomorrow I can look at it and see what you're doing.
Okay.
Okay. I'm recording. No comment. So anyways, that's the plan for the rest of the time. That's why we have to have our presentations done today, because the last thing I want to do is not have a semester review. If we push back at all, you basically get the test here, no review, and then we go straight into the finals, and I don't want to do that. So, that being said, everybody uploaded yet?
It's being slow, but the bars are moving. And then it's
Late.
I lied. It stopped. Okay, now it's going. As soon as you clicked on it, it stopped. It was like,
Late. Not late. See green? Smiley face. There should be a smiley face at the end of there.
You did yell at me for submitting it through the email.
Submitting it. It's because I don't want it on email. I want it there. I don't have to go into my email. Did you figure out how to do it?
Yeah.
How'd you do it?
It took me like 10 minutes to figure out that you're supposed to tap the drag here area, even though we can't really drag anything on the.
But you got it,
iPad.
didn't you?
Yes.
All right. See, it wasn't that hard. I guess I'll sit over here, since there's no room in the end over there for me to. Is my pen sitting? Can I set a pen down right there? I'll put my pen. Okay, Cody's uploading. We'll spin the Wheel of Fortune. Did I do the wheel last time?
No, you just picked me. Did you?
Huh?
You just picked me last time.
Did I? Well, we'll be fair and say,
Favorites.
oh, then I give those to you guys. I thought I handed them to you. Both of them. They're both 2 pages. I'm sorry, I thought I handed them to you.
Cody should. Because he wasn't here when we.
I was wondering what you guys this year are supposed to do. I think that was during the presentation. I was like that for all my mistakes. I don't know if what we're supposed to, like how we're supposed to do it.
That's my first one.
Which now I realize. Wait, no, I said.
I gotta edit it. I guess I never even redid the names on this thing, so I mean, let's see, we only need 4 segments this year. AC, all right, like that, Isaac? Is that how you spell your name correctly?
Yep. Are you serious?
I haven't spun it yet.
Oh.
It didn't count.
This
I was saving it to the thing. So this one counts though. Here we go. First is Cody,
Alright,
who deserves to be first for uploading the last.
let me keep filling this
Get
out.
your rubric done. Here's the actual submission. By clicking this.
Little bar on the bottom right there.
Here. It can't be easy like it was before. We just kind of link straight to here. There we go. Obviously, this is being recorded and will be posted since everything is testable material that's given in the presentations, and I will obviously modify some questions to include stuff from your guys' presentation.
Can I ask a question real fast? How am I supposed to present this again?
Like you are the businessman coming from that company.
Could you give me an example?
It's not you. You are Gigabyte. You're
Okay.
not Cody, you're Gigabyte.
Give me your
Our
rubric.
Sales representative.
You're up.
Sales rep.
Both pages.
Oh, I didn't fill out. Was I supposed to fill out this one?
Well, of course you're supposed to fill out
But I
that one.
haven't given the presentation yet.
No, you fill out your rubric on how you think you're going to do on the presentation. That's exactly what it is. We went over this. So you grade the whole rubric and you get a grade on how close your grade is to my grade. That's why you're supposed to go over the rubric as you build your presentation and check it.
Wait, what if we don't like, what if we're like,
Every single item is supposed to be graded. There were directions on
I
there.
get my safe like a C.
What?
I give myself like a C because
You're going to get a grade on how well you graded yourself, as well as your grade on the presentation. They're two separate things. One is intended to make sure you guys read the rubric when you're building your presentation, so you don't forget something for no ridiculous reason other than I never checked the rubric. Which is why you're supposed to bring it in with you. That's true of every single presentation you'll do in this class. I am not printing them out next time. Next time you will bring them graded into class and hand them to me. Realistically, what should happen is you give yourself all max points because you went through the rubric and you said, yep, got that, yep, got that, yep, got that. However, I have had students give them to me with grading themselves an F before, and they got an A on the rubric because they indeed got an F in that presentation. The point is to be honest. You got both sides?
There's a second.
There's a back side? Yeah, of course there is. It's the 3-page rubric. You would know that if you read through it as you're doing your presentation like you're supposed to. It said in bold letters on the top of the Moodle site, make sure you bring your rubric in graded. And hopefully the sub told you that too, since it was on the sub notes.
I have one page. These are both the same page.
You got what?
These are both the same page.
You didn't give you guys the right pages. You gave Isaac both of the first page and yourself both of the second page.
Oh, crap. Okay, I'll
Yeah. Oh, did you have that one graded? Okay. Put your name on the top of there. You guys are ding dongs. I'll blame Brandon on that. I got the same page twice. See what you do.
So, I kept all my work cited, but I never put it on my PowerPoint, so I put a 0. It's all in a note.
Doesn't mean anything to me. I've got it done, Mr. Poole. It's in Egypt. I don't care if it's in Egypt. It's supposed to be in
It's
New
a
Paris,
giant
Ohio.
note right there.
What?
It's a giant note.
Yes, guys had plenty of time. You had more time than any other classes ever had to do this one because I had the duty at the same time. All right, Mr. Clark. Dazzle us.
Which one of these works?
Both of them work.
Oh. Alright. I'm here from Gigabyte to present 3 motherboards that you guys asked for with 3 specific requirements. I'm the representative, and my name's Cody Clark. So let's just get right into it. Or not.
Try the other one. I don't know. It should work.
My assistant lied to me. Twice.
I don't know why it's not moving forward. Right, you just used an arrow on the keyboard. Move the keyboard over to the edge of the desk.
Alright, our headquarters is located in New Taipei, Taiwan, which is, this was supposed to be a picture of Taiwan, and I was showing you where it's located, like on the map. And New Taipei is right in that little area. Taipei is actually right to the right of it, which is where that little dot is. And then the red arrow is New Taipei. And this is our front of our building. We were founded in 1986, and we were considered one of the top motherboard makers, like top 5. But most people just call us the best. And we're a little pricey, but because our motherboards are all to the best that they can possibly be. Go ahead and bring up the 3 computers, or the motherboards. You asked for a motherboard for the home, business, and gaming computer. The home PC motherboard, you asked for it to be the least expensive and have integrated components, and that's the basic thing you asked for. It is the G8H8 1MH micro ATX Intel motherboard.
Mr. Clark, would you mind? I have a cold, and my hearing is depreciated because of the goo behind my ears. If you can speak up just a little bit,
Yeah.
I would appreciate it.
The micro ATX motherboard will fit any ATX case, so it's universally useful. The CPU slot is an LGA 1150, and the LGA stands for land grid array. And there's a land grid array and a pin grid array, and the 1150 stands for the amount of pins it has, and it's called pins whether or not it's LGA or PGA. Yeah. And these are all the my bad. These are all the CPUs that'll fit in the socket, and they didn't put on what generation, but I'll have a link later so you can go to it and I'll show all the actual CPUs that you can use. For the memory, the slot is a 2x 240 pin, and it takes DDR3 1600 or 1333. Maximum memory is 16 gigabytes, so since there's 2 slots, you can have each an 8 gigabyte DDR3 RAM. I'm getting all the integrated components up real fast. I think that's all of them. It has a PS2 port for your mouse and your keyboard, along with an HDMI and a normal VGA cable, 2 USB 2.0s and 2 USB 3.0s, and a LAN with max speed of 10, 100, or 1,000 MBs, megabytes. And then has the 3 audio jacks, the in, the out, and the mic. Oh, and the hard drives. It has 2 3 gigabyte SATA 2s, and then 2 6 gigabyte SATA 3s. For expansion slots, it has 1 2.0 16 Express 16 expansion slot, along with 2 PCI Express 1 expansion slots, and Here's the the ones. Sorry, I'm in the way. And then here's the 16. Couldn't find a really good picture. I tried to crop everything for you guys.
That's good. That's good.
Any questions? And it cost $37.99. This link will take you to the web page. And at the end of my slide, in case it's changed, I took a screenshot of the price. There's no warranty on this, but in the first few months it can be returned or replaced. Like, you can send it back if it's damaged in the first couple months, or if it wasn't working when you got it, or you can just get it replaced.
So what's the motherboard speed of this one?
I did not check the chipset speed.
Okay, so what does it say on the rubric? Anyone? Since you obviously all read the rubric that I uploaded, it says motherboard bus speed, parentheses, non-overclock max memory speed.
I got the memories, but
So what would it be?
no clue.
Use your back arrow. So what's the max speed of this motherboard?
No clue.
What's your memory speed? What's your memory speed? Compatible memory is DDR3 1600 1333.
So 1600.
1600 megahertz is the compatible max speed. Now, it may show in mega transfers as well, but that's the speed it's going to sync up with the memory. So the max non-overclock speed is the speed of the motherboard when you're trying to compare donuts to donuts.
So it is
1600 megahertz.
Alright, the next motherboard I brought for you guys is your business motherboard. And the requirements you asked for is a 1 gigabyte network card, 2 SATA 3.0 gigabytes or better, 8 gigabyte of RAM available, minimal, and integrated components, audio, video, and RAM. The one I brought for you is a GAAM1MS2H. It's also a micro ATX motherboard, so again, it's universal use in any ATX case. The CPU slot is a SFL or SF1B, and it supports AM1. The Athlon X453/550 is the best one that this one will support. This one doesn't support mini, and this is all the ones that you can use. There's 2 Athlons, 2 Superions, and another 2 Athlons. These are the X4, so they're different versions of the Athlon. And there's only 6 that will support this one. That's all I can find on that. And there's a link in case you wanted to check my information on that one, because it's a little unexpected for it to only have 6. For the memory, again, it has 2 slots, and they're both 240 pins. It takes DDR3 1600 to 1333 again, and the maximum memory is 32 gigabytes. So this time you can have 2 16 gigabyte RAM. And the integrated components, again, it has the mouse and keyboard, along with the video of the regular VGA and the HDMI cable. Has 2 USB 3.0s and 2 USB 2.0s, all the audio ports, and 2 SATA 3 6 gigabyte cables. For the expansion slots, it has PCI Express 2.0 16, along with 2 PCI Express 1s again. The requirements for the basic, or the home PC computer motherboard along with your business one were very different, but in our cheapest, both of them met both the requirements that you had. That's why they're very similar. Do you have any questions? And this one was on sale, that's why it's cheaper than the first one, for $39 or $34.99.
Can you click on the link for the sale? Okay. Go ahead and go back to it. I was reading something else Yeah, right there. Right there. So go back to your integrated components, because I missed looking at that slide somehow. Right there. Okay.
Alright, for the warranty, there's actually only two sets of two different types of warranties. There's accidental damage and then the complete replacement coverage. They're both about the same cost, just slightly different for the complete replacement, so I'll go for that one. And they both last approximately 1 to 3 years, but usually this one is only 1 to 2, but you pay a little extra for it to go for the 3. Alright, your gaming computer motherboard. Now this is the big one you guys asked for. It has the most requirements and 1 gigabyte network card, just like the other one, 2 times SATA 6.0 GPS, hard drive ports, 16 gigabytes of RAM available minimum, 2 times PCI X16 ports for high-end video cards, and a 7.1 channel audio or better. The GA-Z170X Ultra Gaming version 1 is the ATX motherboard I brought for you. This one won't fit in a micro ATX case like the other two. The CPU slot is an LGA 1151, and here's the CPUs that will fit it, but I didn't put generation there. I put details to it because when I looked for the generation on our website, all I could find was the exact CPUs instead of the generation. So this is a list of all the ones that would fit.
So why didn't you just Google the CPUs to find out which generation?
I did, but it wouldn't show.
It's a good example of email Mr. Poole if you can't find it.
I thought you were the one who helped me with it. You were like, well,
And I
just
showed
put
you
a
right
link.
away. It was 4th generation on the
Oh,
corner.
I thought you just said put a link in it because it said it.
No, we still want to know what generation. I mean, you could have easily just hit on your own link, Googled it, found what generation, and then put it at the bottom
Oh.
of that. I was showing you how to find it, but we want to actually know it. And you want to tell us. Go ahead.
For the memory, it has 4 slots and there are 288 pins, and this one takes DDR4, and it takes a lot of different types, and the 3 main ones I found were 3866, 3800, and 3733. From there on, they go down.
Should have given us all, because you didn't even give us a single non-overclocked one. You just showed us the overclocked, which means we can't look at this slide and tell. I mean, you should have listed every single one of them.
The only one I saw that wasn't overclocked was the very last one.
Okay, we'll go to the link on this one. But we want them all, and in more means nothing. That's like, and I forgot.
No.
I mean, the whole list, because you're going to use this on your memory one. And if you, for instance, and when you get your memory presentation, yours might be the cheapest for your gamer motherboard. Well, the cheapest is not going to be a 3866 overclock. It's probably going to be whatever your lowest speed is, but you can't use that slide because you didn't put them all.
All right.
We want all.
Well, it has 4 slots and it's 64 gigabytes, so you can have 4 16 gigabyte pieces of RAM. For the integrated components, this one has a lot. It has the mouse and keyboard for the PS2. It has an HDMI, a mini display port, USB 3.1, 4 USB 3.0s, 2 USB 2.0s, 5 audio jacks, and I put all the ones that it has down here: the center, the subwoofer, speaker out, the rear speaker out, line in, line out, and mic in. And then 6 SATA 6 GPS and 2 SATA Express. Wait. The SATA ports, there's 2 there, and then right here, the rest are on the side. Which is the 2 that are there are the Express, and the 6 are right there. For the expansion slots, we got 3 PCI expansion, 16 slots, and they're each running at a different speed: X16, X8, and X4. We have 3 PCI Express 1 slots, and they're all like here's the gaming board one, the gaming video card one, and then the PCI 1, PCI 16, PCI 1, PCI 16, PCI 1. So that way you have a space between, because the video cards are usually a lot larger. I couldn't crop the photo to get you to see it any better. Sorry about that. And it cost $159.99. Any
Go ahead and
questions?
click on this one for us.
I'm looking for the
Go down to the specifications.
there's the CPU that's right there.
Okay, yeah, I can't see it because you're standing in front of me. Okay, so the slowest it goes is 2133, and everything else is overclocked. That's weird. And I mean, I've never seen it that it only has one non-overclock speed. Usually there's a bunch of speeds and then a couple overclock. But I mean, I almost don't even understand why it overclocks. Why isn't it set up for one of those other speeds in the first place? Seems kind of strange. Okay.
There's no long time warranty, there's a limited warranty for the parts and then for the whole motherboard. Each of them lasts 3 years and the prices are just a couple dollars off. One of them is, I think it's about $10 each actually. So I will just go with the replacement. Any questions?
Do you have any other slides?
I have the screenshots of the
Okay. So, just for everybody, first of all, what was the biggest mistake Cody made? The single biggest mistake on this presentation. Everyone should have caught it. No? No one caught it? What's the one thing I said someone will do? And he did.
Did I pronounce it wrong?
Go ahead and sit down. I'm going to leave this open for a second. We're going to go here to back to our website. And you guys really should where am I at?
The CPU. Was it not a LGA?
Yeah. You went from Intel, AMD to Intel. Right? So on our choices, where I don't even see where it is. Where's our presentation? No, right there. So on what he had assigned to do, he had Gigabyte, but he was only supposed to. Come on, what's going on with that? That is really slow to open that basic page and what's going on. It should have opened up in like a millisecond. No, I'm not gonna pause. Anyway, I don't know what. There we go. So on the presentation choices, Cody took Gigabyte and Intel, which means Gigabyte's his company, Intel's his processors, but he gave us 2 Intel processors and 1 AMD processor. Okay, which we obviously have to fix. So what you're going to have to do for me and re-upload a new one, because I don't want to give you the grade that you just got. Okay, you need to fix number 2 with an Intel motherboard. Okay, and then you need to put a works cited. Here's the big thing. Okay, so I require works cited on all of them, and Cody said he didn't have time or whatever to get it together. If you would have put a slide on here that it said works cited and just listed the websites, we would have still gotten 6 out of 10 points, right? Because if you look at it, the difference is, the big thing is I want you to show where the work came from. So if 6 points is did not use proper MLA citations and all you did was list the websites, you would have got 6 out of 10 points. But not doing a slide at all is 0 out of 10 points. So if you've got a list, just throw it up there. Yeah, you lost 4 points for not putting in the right, by not using EasyBib like I talked about doing. But why would you do that to yourself? Which is why you're supposed to reference the rubric and grade it before you come into class. Because if you had done this 2 days ago and you'd gone through here, you'd have been like, Oh wow, that's 10 points. Oh, but I can just do it in the wrong format and still get 6. Okay, because the point is, the reason there's a huge jump there is I want something. I'd rather have it right, but I want something, okay? So Cody, you need to, you're not gonna have to represent, but I'd like you to fix that. It does not have to be done today or tomorrow, but it has to be done before I do grades for the quarter, okay? Because going forward on the CPU project, you don't have a motherboard that you could use if you drew the business PC. You don't have one that you can use for an Intel CPU because you're going to be only presenting Intel CPUs on the CPU presentations, and you won't have a motherboard to talk about because you don't have an Intel-based motherboard, okay? So you need to find a Gigabyte 1 and replace that, okay? And I would really like, when you replace it, to try to include those things that you didn't get, which again are easy ones, right? And that's why I put it on the rubric so you guys would know. Right here, when I'm talking about these, I can say motherboard bus speed is 2100 because I'm on the memory slide. You can either make a separate slide or you could just highlight it, bold it, whatever, so that you mention it when you're here on the slide so that we know comparison-wise how does this one compare. Okay, that motherboard clock syncs the memory up with everything that's going around the motherboard, so that clock speed's important. If I go and I have a 2100 speed motherboard and I put a 4 gig CPU in, how much faster is the CPU than the motherboard? 2 times. Okay, it's 2 times faster. So we get what's called a bottleneck because the CPU's got information that it can't. It's waiting for information from the motherboard, which is why people overclock their memory and their motherboard to get it closer to the speed of the CPU, to lower that bottleneck. I know it can get up to here, but we want to know what the native speed of that motherboard is, okay? Which is why that's one of the things on there. Okay. Overall, it wasn't bad, Cody, but you just missed some things that hurt you in points that I think you didn't need to do at all. Okay, so next, obviously not Cody. You spun Cody again. Ian, you're the winner. Man. I don't know why this didn't work for me. This should have worked. I just did it. It's off. I don't know what's going on because it was on. Just use the you don't have time to mess with it. Where's your rubric?
Oh man.
Is it the orange one?
It was one thing that is not on the rubric that I need to add for next year, but I don't add it in the presentation, which is the hard drive connections. I thought I had on the rubric and I don't. Everybody understands we bring these with us, graded, and you use it to help proof your own presentation before you come. Because that makes it so much easier when you go, I got everything. Yeah, I got all purpose down there, we go do it, and I go, that was great, yay. Okay, at the end. That's what Mr. Bull likes to do. He likes to clap and cheer. Let's go, Mr. Miller.
right.
Make me clap and cheer.
Hi, I'm Ian Miller from ASUS. I'm a sales representative, and I'm going to show you 3 motherboards that you all requested from our company. So a little bit about ASUS. We were established in 1989 by the 4 creators right up there. ASUS produces notebooks, phones, and motherboards, obviously. And our headquarters is in Taipei, Taiwan. So that's a local map of Taipei. So we got our headquarters are right there, and that's our building right there. So this is the home PC, home motherboard, which is the ASUS H81MK, which looks like that. I'm not going to use the mouse or whatever.
I'm sorry, Ian. Can you go back 2 slides for me? Okay, I was refilling that
Yeah.
too. Yes, no, we're good, I just wanted that one.
So I'm not going to use the mouse, whatever. So the CPU socket, is a 150. It supports all these fourth generation cores, i7, i5, i3, Pentium, and Celeron.
Now, just so I'm not remembering wrong, was that Cody that I helped find the generation? Was it you, or did you find it on your own? I know I helped somebody.
You helped me.
I helped you find the generation?
Yeah.
When we looked at it, you showed me that like the info thing, and you were
Okay.
like, this should say it, and then it didn't say it, and you were like, put a link to this, and I was like, okay.
Okay. Do it on your new one.
Alright.
There we go.
Real panel ports, you got your PS2 keyboard and mouse, which is the blue and green ones. Your video ports, VGA and DVI, which is those. USB ports, we got two of each of 2.0 and 3.0, and the audio ports. Our memory consists of DDR3 of 1600, 113, and 1066. The maximum memory you can put into this is 16 gigabyte. This is only 2 slots. The PCI Express ports, you got one 16 PCI Express 16, which is that one, and two PCI 2.0, and introduced two.
Okay, so look at that slide.
Hmm?
Look at that slide.
What?
Look at your slide.
What?
Look at your slide.
For what?
See any mistake on there?
Oh, no, that's
Go up, up. See, PCI, and you put PSI on the top.
Oh man, that's all right. So this motherboard includes a new BIOS that's user-friendly, or you can use advanced options. It has an easy mode to tune your computer to more efficiently and change options more quicker and easier. And it can also be changed to professional mode, so you can be able to rename hard drives and see your last modifications that you've done to your motherboard. The warranty, this is Newegg warranty since the price comes off of Newegg. So the warranty is parts and labors for 3 years. And the price is $49.99.
Do you have a link for us?
Yeah.
Is that a link?
Where's the mouse?
Okay, that's good. Just can't tell us the link the way you got it. That's fine.
Oh.
Just go down the bottom again. You just click the.
Any questions?
What's the max? What's the speed of this motherboard then?
If it's like 1600
1600
gigahertz. I mean, megahertz.
megahertz, right there. Okay.
The business motherboard is the Asus B85M CSM. That's what it looks like. The rear panel ports is you still got your PS2, which is the two purple and green ports right down there. The video and audio, you got those the DVI display port and HDMI. HDMI is really good. 3 audio ports, which is in out and back in, and a USB. You got 4 2.0 USBs and 2 3.0.
Okay. On that one,
Yeah.
how do I tell which one's 3.0 and which one's 2.0 on the USB?
The 4 ones are black, and the 3s are blue.
Okay.
The PCI, the PCI ports, you got one PCI slot, and one PCI Express, one PCI Express 2.0, and one PCI Express 0.3.
Yeah. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the top of this slide.
It's got
I know. Are they expansion boards or expansion boards?
expansion. Yeah. So our memory, they're DDR3 again, and they consist of 1600, 133, and 1060. The maximum memory it can support is 32 gigabytes, and it's dual channel. It's 4 slots. The CPU is a LGA 1150 with 4th generation. It will accept all 4th generation i7, i5, i3 Pentium. So there. It's got high quality solid capacitors built to last. High quality capacitors that last more than other motherboards
Why is that a big deal? Anybody know?
because they control,
That's the single biggest thing that's fails on motherboards.
yeah.
If you looked at every motherboard that we ever pulled and every laptop that ever went bad, it was a capacitor that was leaking that went bad.
Yeah. So, yeah. Longer lifespan. The warranty is the same for 3 years for parts and labors on Newegg. The price is $80. And then I'll link. Hopefully it works.
Did I miss the expansion slots? I must have missed it somehow. I was looking down and writing something or something. Can you go back to your expansion slot slide?
And,
Oh, that's right.
And
It's
the-
I was fixated on the spelling of that on that
Yeah.
slide.
put the link for this one.
Why did you consistently give yourself 8 out of 10 points on this?
Because I'm not sure if I did well.
So you just gave yourself a low grade? I'm just gonna lower my grade.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I
Don't.
did.
I don't want you guys, when you guys grade yourself on Rubik's, to be modest and go, he's not gonna give me 10 on this. If you think you deserve a 10 because you've got them all, give yourself a 10. Because I'm grading on how close you are to me, right?
Yeah.
So you take yourself down to an 8, but I give you a 10. You actually kind of get a 9 because I'm going to take 1 off of the road grade, but I gave you a 10. So anyway.
I was kind of doubting myself. Any questions? Okay. The high performance motherboard, or the gaming motherboard, is the Asus TUF Sabertooth. That was pretty sleek looking. That's what it looks like. An overhead view. The CPU is a LGA 1151 6th generation CPU socket. It accepts all of those, only for 6th generation, so don't go buy a 4th generation and put it in the motherboard. You'll be disappointed. The memory is a DDR4, and it's 2400 and 2133. It's 4 sockets. It can support up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. The rear panel ports, that's a lot. There's one USB 3.1 teal blue A-type, which is that one right there. There's one USB 3.1 Type-C, 4 USB ports, 1 USB BIOS flashback buttons, and 1 TOF detective USB port. The cool thing about this, you can plug this to your phone, and you can look at BIOS on your phone. Pretty good for dealing with BIOS issues on your phone than just powering up your PC. I'll get to that later. You have 2 USB blue, which is still stupid everything. You got 1 HDMI port, an optical, 5 audio jacks, and 1x8 channel audio. Like PCI Express ports, you got 2 PCI 2.016, 1 PCI, 3 PCI. So, yeah, that's that. So, there's LED lights on the motherboard that shows the 5 boot keys, which is easy to tell if you have problems with your PC, and it also has the TOF detective too. You can manage your BIOS and motherboard with by plugging your phone into the PC and checking on it. Even if the computer's off, you can still check it and see if you're what's wrong with the computer. It still has to be plugged in though, so you can't plug out. You just can't just put say computer down and plug it in and see what happens. The price of this is $245.99. It's kind of big cost margin, but I'm sure it's worth it. I mean, I would. It's pretty nice. It's a lot more, you know.
It's hanging out. Look, just wait. Because if you looked at the thing, it was spinning on that
Yeah.
too. There's something goofy going on.
So there's a lot more, what's the word?
Configuration options.
No. There's more. Can't find a word.
Integrated
for it.
components.
Word.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, cool stuff. Basically, a lot more of it. But those two things were the one that caught my eye. There's just a lot of things that it can do. But those two, the phone configurations.
Go back to your expansion slots, just so everybody understands. Is it stuck? Okay, go back to your expansions.
Yeah.
So the big reason we're talking about these expansion ports is for our video cards, because obviously if we're a gamer, we want to know how many video cards we can get in there, and whether it's SLI ready or Crossfire ready. And just so you know, those covers that are on there on this motherboard, they started doing that a few years ago, and really it's to protect the motherboard from you, so that you can't accidentally have a static discharge in the motherboard on vital components. So they started making these guards that go over everything that you don't need to touch, so that someone, when they buy a $245 motherboard, don't go and cause a static discharge that ruins the motherboard before they even get it running. Because with the more expensive ones, obviously they don't want these to be returned if they don't have to. So that's why they kind of have those guards all the way around it. Although they are a pain in the butt to get video cards in and out of with that guard, because it's really hard. You have to use a screwdriver to get down to that lock, the lock on the right side. If you point up there, Ian.
Oh.
Now go to the video card port itself and slide over to the right.
That's left.
Yeah, right there. So that's a lock that locks in the back of the video card and latches it so that it can't come loose. And in order to remove the video card, you have to push that down so the lock releases so you can pull the video card out. And that is a huge pain with those guarded cases, because you can't get your finger in from the side. Just so you guys know, that becomes an issue sometimes when you're swapping them out. Go ahead, Ian.
It said that the case was a thermal cooling that just cools your computer too. So there's that. Any questions? There. So yeah, that's my works cited. And in case my others didn't work, there's the links.
So I'm confused there. So you've got just 2 things in your works cited? You got more than that. You got 3 motherboards.
There's supposed to be like one. There was supposed to be another one here, and what? I guess I only had 2.
Okay.
But I had about 4 right here.
The only thing I would say as the biggest thing, Ian, and we obviously stayed with LGA the whole time on our stuff. I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of presentations. This is who is this? Hello? 1237. I don't know to see who that is. Okay, go ahead, Ian. And that's it. And the only thing I would say on works cited, what goes to the top of works cited?
Works cited?
The word works cited.
Oh.
And make sure you get them all. Don't just give me a couple. That's why I said I showed you guys to use easy bib. So it's easy. Easy bibliographies. That's the whole idea. I don't know why this thing is hanging up. I'm going to close Firefox. I hope there's Firefox that's hung up. And let's see. If it's on the bottom half, it's Isaac. Isaac, it's you. I'm going to close everything extraneous and see if I open this up. Maybe at it. I don't know what's going on.
About the LGA, what were you saying? You said
No, I said you stuck with your
Oh,
your
yeah.
Intel sockets and all.
Okay.
Mr. Blankenhorn. Okay. Mr. Wow. Nice to get you back to me. By the way, on any of these, if you guys want to make changes and re-upload and email me and say, hey, I fixed that, I will re-look at them, obviously, again.
Okay, we good?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
So, my name is Isaac Blankenhorn. I'm a sales rep from MSI Motherboards. You asked me to come here and present 3 motherboards for you, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to get into this straight ahead. I'll give you some background info. We're a Taiwanese multinational information technology corporation. Excuse me. We are headquartered in New Taipei, Taiwan. We design, develop, and provide computer hardware related products and services, including laptops, motherboards, graphic cards, etc. We were established in 1986. Here's a picture on a map of where we are. It's right there is New Taipei, and obviously it's supposed to be on a dot. I don't know why. That is a picture of our headquarters right there. So, as I said before, why are we here? You asked us to present 3 motherboard types: a home PC, the business PC, and the gaming PC. So first off, we'll start with the home motherboard. It's the MSI A68 HM Grenade. It's got an FM2 socket, supports FM2 socket for AMD A series, Athlon series processors. The bus clock is 1600 megahertz, and it has an AMD A68H chipset. The memory, it's got 2 240-pin memory slots, dual channel. DDR3 supports 1333, 1600, 1866, and 2133 with a 32 gigabyte max capacity.
Go back to that again. Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
The back panel, there's 2 USB 3.0s, which are these blue ones right here, and there's 4 USB 2.0s, which are these 2 and these 2. 1 VGA port and 1 DVI-D port, and then 1 HDMI port as well. Also, there are the 3 audio connectors, but I'll get into that later. Other specs right here. There is onboard audio with the Realtek ALC 887 codec. Onboard LAN, the Realtek 8111G. 10, it supports 10, 100, and 1000. There's 4 SATA 6 gigabyte ports. Supports RAID 0, RAID 1, and RAID 10. The cost is $59.97, so it's kind of expensive for the most basic, but I promise you it's a great motherboard. It'll do exactly what you need it to. Nothing special. And then there's a link if you want to click on the link.
Sure, go ahead and click on that one first. Okay, you can go ahead and close it. Or let me just go back to the presentation.
Okay. Alright, so now we'll get into the business motherboard. This is the A78M E45 motherboard. It has an FM2 Plus CPU socket, Athlon A series CPU, and an AMD 78 chipset. For the expansion slots, it has 1 PCIe 3.0 16 slots. It supports up to 16 speed, times 16 speed. 1 PCI 2.0 x16 slot, which it supports up to times 4 speed. 1 PCI 2.0 x1 slot and 1 PCI slot, that shows all of them right there. The memory, there is 4 240-pin slots. Supports DDR3, 2133, 1866, 1600, and 1333. 64 gig max memory supported, and it is also dual channel. Graphics in the back panel. There is one VGA port supporting a maximum res of 1920 by 1200 at 60 hertz. One DVI-D port that supports maximum res of 2560 by 1600 at 60. One HDMI port supports a maximum res of 4096 by 2160 at 24 hertz. And these are only supported when using the FM2 Plus processors too. This is the max that it can get. So it can get less, but that's the max that you can get if you're using the FM2 Plus processor. The hard drive, there's 6 SATA 6 gigs per second support. Sorry, 6 SATA 6 gig ports. Support storage and data transfer up to 6 gigs a second. And SATA 1 6 support RAID 0, 1, and 10 modes. Right here are the SATA connectors. There's the 6 right there. Other specs, does have integrated audio with the Realtek ALC 887, 7.1 channel high definition audio. It supports gigabyte LAN, Realtek RTL 8111G, 10 megabytes per second. It supports up to 10 megs, 100 megs, and 1,000 megs a second too. The cost of this one, $80.95. Again, pretty pricey, but really not too bad, because I mean, really, you're getting the best bang for your buck out of this business PC. Finally, we'll get to the big boy. This is what you all been waiting for. The MSI X99A Gaming Pro Carbon. This is the best one I brought today for you. Yes, now I realize that I did the Intel instead of AMD. Now that you pointed out on Cody's, I just thought of this, but
You can almost just smile.
yeah. It supports the new Intel Core i7 processor.
Can you go back one? I didn't write down the name of the number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. It supports the new i7 processor Extreme Edition. It's got an LGA 2011-3 socket with the Intel X99 chipset. The memory has 8 DDR4 memory slots, supports up to 120 gigs. Really, 120 gigs is kind of overkill, but it's still there if you ever need it. Supports a lot of different RAM. 2130 is the normal like speed, but then all these are the overclock, and you get the 3466 with the DDR4. Quad channel memory architecture, and it supports Intel Extreme Intel Extreme memory profile.
Hold on, stay right there. I want to know if anybody sees the one thing that's wrong in this slide that we should all know is wrong. Maybe not all of us, but we should know is wrong on this slide without knowing anything about this motherboard.
It says quad, but there's, well,
No, that's not it. They do have quad channel memory, so that's completely possible. What? What?
Is it like in plain sight?
Yes. So on the first line, what's wrong with the very first line?
The 4. 8 times DDR4.
Supports up to 120 gig.
Oh.
No such thing. Okay? Memory all comes in multiples of 2. So it would have to be 128 gig, or 64 gig, or 32 gig, or 16 gig, or 8 gig. All those are multiples that, because there's no way you can put in memory and end up with 120. If I put in the 816 that takes, it ends up to be 128. So just so you know, that's a known thing of every computer person, which now all of you guys know too. But if sticks of memory come in 1s and 2s, and then 4s, and then 8s, and then 16s, the multiple has to come out to be of the total 16 or 32 or 64 or 128. Those are definitely numbers. Go ahead.
Okay.
But you're going to fix this one anyway because
Yeah,
it's the wrong
definitely.
one.
Yeah. The expansion slots, it has 4 PCIe 3.0 slots. Supports many different things with the CPU that supports 40 PCIe lanes. It has also 2 PCIe 2.0 slots. Storage, it's got the Intel, obviously as I said before, Intel X99 chipset. 10 SATA 6 gig ports, 2 ports from the SATA E port. 1 M2 slot, supports 2242, 2260, and 2280 storage devices. 1 U2 port and 1 SATA E port.
What's a U2 port?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. I don't know.
I did that on
I
purpose.
don't know what a U2 port is.
It-
You put it on your slide. I
It had
didn't.
they said it was on the MSI, like actual
You'll tell us
specs.
that next class.
I will.
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
I will. And it supports the Intel Smart Response technology depending on the CPU that you have on the motherboard. Audio and LAN. It's got a Realtek ALC1150 codec, 7.1 channel high definition audio, supports SPDIF output, and 1 Intel i218-V gigabyte LAN controller. Cost of this one, relatively cheap for a gaming PC, $108.49, and really it's for the price you're gonna get the best specs for this low of a price because it's a really good PC. I would personally buy it, so I would highly recommend this piece.
That
This,
actually is a
motherboard.
really good price for that motherboard.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it, so.
Click on it.
And then if it changed, I took a screenshot of it too. So.
There's only one thing wrong. That's not the motherboard you just presented.
Is it what?
Is it?
No, it's not.
That's the one you should have presented because it's an AMD
What is
motherboard.
going on?
That one would have been perfect. If you would have presented that motherboard, then that would have been the right motherboard.
I was.
It's right there.
I know what I did.
Yeah,
Last
I
night.
found it.
Yeah.
There it is.
I was looking at this and I must have clicked on that and wrote down the specs for the 970 gaming. That's exactly what
Well,
I
no,
did.
it's not that one either because that's an AM3 Plus.
It was like it's not that one exactly, but it was the.
Somehow you clicked on something else.
I did.
Because your link was to one that would have been really good. The X99 isn't even on that list, is it?
No.
Because the X99 is what you just presented, right? That's what I
Yeah.
wrote down. The MSI X99A motherboard.
That was.
Dang! See, you've already got one to start with. All you have to do is fix all the other slides.
Man, that's something else.
So it's not 108.49 since that's a different motherboard. But
What?
Brandon, I don't know, man. It's gonna be very difficult to figure out.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, that's that. Yeah, there's the 108.49. Yeah.
that's MSI 970, not the MSI X99A. Yes, sir. You are correct.
I got you. I got
Somehow
it.
you wandered away from your own.
It was like 9 o'clock my work on this too. So. Like I was just
could have
finishing
been
up,
earlier.
so.
You know, you guys had the whole weekend to finish it up.
I thought I had mine finished. I was sitting there like, yeah.
I didn't have much.
Okay, we got to move on to Brandon, so he has time to finish his. Let's see your works cited slide.
I still need. I had to add. I got to add more on there, but there's the 2 that I used.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What else did you show me today? I got the new motherboard. I got all the generations. I'll fix the works cited.
Let's let him get started, and I'll look at the notes.
All right.
I was so confident last night too. I was
I
like,
went
dang,
down-
this is gonna be great.
I literally told
And then-
Jordan, I was like, let's play games because I don't have anything to do tomorrow.
I spend a lot of time building these rubrics that I want you guys to look
Apparently,
at.
I
You
kinda
know.
done.
And then you
myself.
picked out the,
It's the whole point of rubric. And you did the same thing, Isaac. You guys are taking away points for stuff that, I mean, especially Ian. On your PowerPoint stuff,
All right,
you gave
let me-
yourself like all 4s.
Look, I didn't know what BuzzFeed was. Like, I looked.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in the PowerPoint section. You're like, nah, I didn't do that. Mine was an aesthetic. Why? What was wrong
No, I
with
kind
it?
of just got myself.
I just,
didn't think
I'm like, mine looks like crap. I'm to give myself less points. Okay, so here's the deal. I guess it doesn't matter. You're fine. Let's move on to Brandon here.
Hi, I'm Brendan. I'm with AMD, well, ASUS, and particularly I'm going to be talking about their AMD variants of their motherboards. The meaning of ASUS. This is a picture of our company and where we're located. We were established on April 2nd, 1989, and ASUS takes its name from Pegasus, which symbolizes the new heights our products soar to. ASUS employs over 11,000 people around the world, and 500 million motherboards have been sold to date. Why am I here? I'm here to present 3 motherboard options from our company: a home PC, a business PC, and a gamer PC. What defines a home PC motherboard? This will be the least expensive option. It must have integrated components, for example, video, audio, and LAN, and it's very cost effective. For the first one, it's the Asus M5 A7 8L, and the rest. Compatible CPUs. The socket type is an AM3+, and compatible CPU types are FX, Phenom 2, Athlon 2, and Sempron 100. Compatible and max memory. There are 4 240-pin slots, and you can get it up to 2,000 overclocked, but its highest is 1866. It supports 32 gigabytes max memory, and it's a dual channel support. The motherboard bus speed. It utilizes Hyper Transport 3.0 system bus, which does 5,200 transfers a second, which is actually 2,600 megahertz. The onboard video is an integrated ATI Radeon HD 3000 GPU, multi-VGA output support for HDMI, DVI, RGB ports. Here's the resolutions that they support. And the maximum shared memory of 1 gig. The onboard audio has an audio chipset, VIA VT178S, and it has 8 audio channels. And the onboard LAN chipset is a Realtek 1 gigabyte LAN controller, and it supports 10, 100, and 1,000 megabyte per second speeds. There are 6 3 gigabyte SATA ports, which supports 0, 1, and 10 RAID versions, and JBOD solutions, which JBOD is a very technical term for just a bunch of disks. For the expansion slots, there's 1 PCI Express 16, 1 PCI Express 1, and 2 PCI slots. Wow, there's a lot here. There's 1 PS2 keyboard or mouse port, a DVI and D sub slot, HDMI, LAN, 2 USB 3.0s and 4 USB 2.0s, an optical port, and 6 audio ports. What do you pay? You pay $51.98 without a rebate, but with the rebate card it comes to be $36.98. Questions? Oh.
Can you go to the link on that? I'm confused by that slide. Go back.
Yeah.
Because it says $51.98, but then there's a screen capture over here for $49.99.
He included tax.
$34.99. I'm still not sure.
Say yes.
There's a $2 shipping. Maybe you threw that on there.
I don't know, but I hit wrong on that one. Didn't see it's even.
It's gone up, but that's okay. I just wanted to see the link. You can go ahead and go back to your presentation.
Any questions?
I kind of have one. It's a slightly off topic, but is it actually pronounced Asus?
Is what?
The way it was pronounced, they both pronounced it the same. I was like, man, I've been pronouncing it wrong all the time. I call it Asus.
I don't know. I've heard of Asus and Asus.
Well, I mean, from like what they said their name was from, it would make sense.
It makes
Asus.
sense the way that you said. I was just wondering.
What's a business motherboard? A business motherboard is a mid-range motherboard with a good performance. What must this motherboard have? 1 gigabyte network card, a SATA hard drives, 4 gigabytes of RAM available at minimum, and an integrated audio and video. The one I'm bringing to you is an A88X Plus USB 3.1. Compatible CPUs, AMD socket, FM2 Plus Athlon A series processors. It supports CPUs up to 4 cores, and it supports AMD Turbo Core 3.0 technology. Compatible in max memory. There's 4 240 pin slots, a memory of 2,400 overclocked, and 2133 at its max. It supports 64 gigabytes of memory, and it's a dual channel.
Okay, I want to go back one, and then come forward one. It's a perfect example of a good animation. You didn't have to wait for it. It was really quick, but it was still an animation. He's got transitions, but the animation wasn't something that, like the one on your Cody, you're sitting there going down through the whole thing, right? But and hopefully you thought to yourself, this is a pain in the butt. This was a bad choice, right?
I was like, whoops, I forgot that.
Yeah, I mean, it'd
Get
be
'em
better
all
to
in
just
one.
have the. I mean, animation is great, and it can add wow factor to your presentation, make you look like you know what you're doing when it comes to technology. But it can also make people think, wow, that was ridiculous. And it's not, but it defaults to some bad animation sometime, and that's a perfect example of it came in, but it came in at the speed you needed to, because as soon as you started talking, it was done. So I just want to point that
It would
out.
have worked for me if the pen worked.
What?
I said it would have worked for me on that one slide if the pen worked. It would
Okay.
work fine.
The best speed runs at 2133 megabytes per second. The integrated hardware. The audio is a Realtek ALC 887 8-channel high-definition audio codec. It supports jack detection, multi-recording, and front panel jack retasking. Onboard LAN, a Realtek RTL 8111H, 1 gigabyte LAN controllers. And for video, it's an integrated AMD Radeon. It's in the A series. It has multi VGA output support, HDMI, DVI, and RGB ports. Here's the resolutions that they run at. And it has a shared memory of 2 gigabytes. And it supports AMD dual graphics technology support. There are 8 SATA gigabyte ports in their gray, and it supports 0, 1, 5, and 10 JBOD solutions. And I had to get really close to the picture, but here's 6 of them, and then the other 2 on the side. There's 1 PCIe 3.0 x16 slot, 1 PCI 2.0, 2 PCI Express, and 3 PCI slots. On the back panel, there's 1 PS2 mouse or keyboard port, a DVI and D-sub port, HDMI, RJ45, 2 USB 3.1s, 2 USB 3.0s, 2 USB 2.0s, and 6 audio ports. This will only cost $92.99. Do you want me to go to the link?
No, that's okay. I don't want to go to it right now because of time factor. I want to make sure.
Any questions? Okay, what makes a gaming motherboard? A gaming motherboard must have 1 gigabyte network card, 2 SATA 6.0 gigabyte per second hard drive ports, 16 gigs of RAM available at minimum, 2 PCIe X16 ports for high-end video cards, and a 7.1 channel audio or better. And I brought the Asus ROG Crosshair V Formula Z. Compatible CPUs, AM3 Plus and CPU type FX Phenom 2, Athlon 2, and Sempron 100 series. Compatible in max memory. There's 4 240 pin slots, The max memory is DDR3 2400 overclocked and 1600 not overclocked. There's a max memory of 32 gigs, and it's a dual channel support. The front side bus runs at 2600 megahertz. The audio, Supreme FX3 with 8 channels. The onboard LAN has a max lane speed of 100 and 1000 megabytes per second, and there's no integrated video. The hard drive ports. There's 8 SATA 6 gigabyte per second ports with 6 SATA gigabyte per second ports read. I'm not sure why I put that. It supports RAID 01510 by AMD SB950. PCI Express 2.0, 16. 3 dual X16 or X16, X8, X8, or 1 X4 mode. And PCI Express, there's 2 PCI Express 1 slots. On the back panel ports, the keyboard and mouse port for PS2, 4 USB 3.0, 8 USB 2.0. 1 port can be switched to ROG Connect. ROG is Republic of Gamers, is a brand of gaming hardware made by ASUS. 2 eSATA 6 gigabyte per second ports. 1 optical drive, well, not drive, out port, and 6 audio ports.
Any idea what that? Oh, go back one. Anybody know what the optical SP diff out port is for?
Video?
It's audio port. That one right here will connect up to your surround sound system with a fiber optic cable, and give you your 8-channel audio with 1 cable to your thing. And a lot of people don't even know they have that on their TVs and on their surround sound. The cable is expensive, but I bought it on eBay for $8, and so my TV is hooked up to my surround sound system with the 1 fiber optic spiff diff, I don't know how to pronounce that, cable, and all the surround sound works off the 1 fiber optic cable. And most people don't even know what that's for, but that's what it is.
This will cost $219.99, and it's our most expensive option. Do you have any questions? And here's my long works cited page. I think it actually got cut off. I'm not sure.
I'm excited every time you type in a word.
Well, that's what you want to do. You just work cited as you go with EasyBib, man. You just throw the thing in there, boom, you make it as you go, and then when you're done, I showed you that, you just copy and paste it, and you're done.
I have 6.
It's no extra work. Maybe it is along the way as you're doing your research or whatever. Very nice job, Brandon. Does anybody have any questions for him? Very nice overall. So we stayed with the right socket the whole time. You downgraded yourself on layout, and
I just thought I had a bunch of white space left over.
there's a little, especially when you're using that I don't ever use that default. The new PowerPoint default is the wide screen. You can switch it right to the regular 3x4, and then you have less white space, because what happens is, it makes it letterbox, and then all of a sudden you got this block on the top, and it's hard to fill it right. That you can, on PowerPoint, when you initially open it, you can tell it that you don't want to use that. You want to use regular 4x3, which is what that one is. Okay. So a couple things I'm going to have to change on the rubric, but nothing for you guys. The only thing I had for you, Cody, was obviously to fix that one, get the generations in there, and get it works cited. Isaac, you need to get your 1 switched so that one's correct, and get a right one on that. Ian, did I give you anything else you need to work on? I don't have any notes on here of anything you need to work on yours. Overall nice. We're going to have to talk about stuff next class. There's a lot of things that you guys each did, not just one person. We need to get, in fact, I'm going to go to Brandon's just to open it up, which was very nice, by the way. So let's go to here. Okay. So this is 32 what? Gigabytes. How do I know it's a gigabyte?
It's a capital B and
Because it's a capital B, okay? So when I get down here, where are we at? Okay. I go down here to the LAN, it goes at 1,000 megabits.
Bits.
It's a little b, okay? And you guys all did that. You kind of willy-nilly went back and forth between what... In fact, I don't think anybody ever said bits anywhere, okay? So these are megabits per second, just like when we talk about the hard drive speeds. Hard drive speeds are 3
Gigabytes.
This is actually, I think, wrong. I think it's gigabits per second on that, or I'm gonna have to look at that. It's SATA 3 is, that's wrong anyways, because it wouldn't be that. If there are SATA 3 ports, it's at 6 gigabits or 6 gigabytes or 600 megabits. I gotta look it up now. I'm confusing myself. But so that's not really right. It's not SATA 3. They're SATA 3, but they don't go at 3. SATA 3s go at 6. SATA 2s go at 3. SATA 1s go at 1.5. So that's just a little, kind of, when you copied it, it probably just got a little bit, retype that stuff. Okay, I'll see you guys next class. We're going to kind of wrap up the motherboard section so that we can have the test on Monday.
So what are the like actual revisions due? Like